Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. Welcome to the forum and I am Azina your MC for today. We are proud to be gathered here to share and gain knowledge on the rise of LGBTQ in today's society, especially in Malaysia. This country is one of the global issues that is being debated in almost every country around the world. Even Western countries have forced other countries to accept this culture as a condition to be considered a democratic country. Before we dive deeper into these LGBTQ issues, I will introduce our panel's members. First, to my right is a very handsome man, Prof. Dr. Haji Muhammad Aiman bin Muhammad Tua. He's the Director of Family, Social and Community from the Malaysian Islamic Development of JAKI. How are you, Prof?
I'm fine, thank you. And thanks for inviting me, Haji Muhammad.
Welcome, Prof.
Thank you.
Okay. And to my left is a beautiful doctor, Dr. Fatimah Musfira binti Zulkifli. She is a family medicine specialist doctor from Park City Medical Center. How are you, doctor?
I'm fine, thank you.
Alright. First, I would like to explain briefly about LGBTQ is. LGBTQ is an acronym for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer or questioning. These terms are used to describe a person's sexual orientation or gender identity. LGBT, I am sure that everyone is already know about it, but Q is for queer or questioning. Alright, I will explain it. Queer is an adjective used by some people, particularly younger people, whose sexual orientation is not only heterosexual. It can also mean questioning, which is describe someone who is questioning their sexual orientation or gender identity. This is a very interesting topic to take into consideration because many in the community in Malaysia, especially Muslim, have been influenced by this culture. What is the impact of LGBT culture on an individual, family and community? Can you explain more about it, Doctor?
Thank you for the questions. The impact of LGBT from my research and what I have studied are HIV/AIDS, syphilis, and problem arise in family relationship. First, I will explain about HIV/AIDS. It is present with a rare, several known disease. We can easily find out the place that gay always come to do sexually free. The place is public bath and also be the leading place for spread of AIDS among homosexuals. Second is syphilis. This disease can infect sex organs. For this disease, it is the most common sexually transmitted disease in AIDS. Last but not least is problem arise in family relationship. Like men marry with men and women marry with women. From that we know they will not have a child and never can have child in the future.
Thank you, Doctor. That was a very clear explanation. Now, the internet has changed everything in our life and affected our interaction with our family, friends, and the environment. Nowadays, most of younger generation are increasingly incorporating the internet into their daily lives, as same as increasing of technology. However, the internet freedom has been identified as a space of negative impact among teens, which conducting into LGBT culture. Indeed, what is your opinion about this, Prof? And is the internet can negatively impact teenager and LGBT issues?
Okay, thank you Azina for asking me that kind of question. As we know that internet has been widely used by teenagers nowadays, not only teenagers, but we also use it widely. So the internet impacts almost all aspects of our life, but particularly stretched in the life of youth, who are the most connected people online in our society. LGBT youth continue to face extraordinary obstacles in their day-to-day lives, whether at school or online. But the internet can be valuable source of information and support when they have no one to or nowhere else left to turn. As social media evolve, So must our effort to serve LGBT youth to ensure their safety, health and well-being. And also because of they getting bullied by by some men more than to being involved in LGBT because of sometimes they doesn't feel like they be appreciated by others gender. So our online revealed that LGBT youth were more likely than non-LGBT used to be bullied or harassed online, that is 42% and 15%, and twice as likely to say that had been bullied via text message. Several respondents also reported that they were as likely to report not feeling safe online as they were at school and while traveling to and from other school. Online victimization contributed to negative self-esteem and higher depression. Youth who experience bullying and harassment both in person as well as online or via text message reported lower grade point averages, lower self-esteem, and higher level of depression than youth who were bullied only in person, only online or via text or not at all.
So it was a very, very issue.
Yes, it was. The internet does not serve to simply reinforce the negative dynamic from online regarding bullying and harassment. Whether this technology also offer LGBT youth critical tools for coping with these negative experiences, including access to misunderstanding and to understand and accepting friends and exposure to health information and is unavailable as well. This research adds to growing literature documenting increased risks for victimization among LGBT youth, finding that this increased risks extend to internet and text messages. Effective prevention effort needs to target not just face-to-face interaction, but online and text messaging based scenarios as well.
Oh, that was a good explanation. Thank you, Prof. Next, we go to the same-sex or single-sex boarding schools. We know that boarding school is where students and teachers live and study together in a safe and secure environment. This is the uniqueness of a full boarding school life compared to the regular school. For same-sex or single-sex boarding schools, boys and girls have different learning styles and different environments. So, I want to ask Prof, will the same-sex or single-sex boarding school be a potential for students to develop homosexual tendencies?
Yes. For me, surprisingly, there are few scientific studies available to provide conclusive evidence, but no limit to personal opinions. The debate topics include whether or not single-sex schools promote gender stereotypes, if homosexuality is learned or genetic, and particularly how single-sex schools may impact students, if single-sex students promote homosexuality. The outcome of those who have contributed to it show a majority of debaters, that is 59%, feel that single-sex schools do not promote sexuality. However, many single-sex school graduates feel that their experiences may be in high school or even colleges were empowering and help them grow as individuals. Others agree, but they say that they discovered their genders identified in the environment because it was the first time they were allowed to experience something different than the stereotypes they grew with the only male-female couple being acceptable. Unfortunately, for many children, stereotypes are all they see in their daily life and become what they understand simply because they are not exposed to diverse view. Most certainly, no child want to be intimidated or ostracized simply because they are different. this difference sometimes means that students are subject to bullying by peers who don't understand or accept them. And this action can be especially harsh when adults look the other way or are not present. Because some students will experience things that they doesn't experience it before. Some adults will not how to say that they does not believe the students will experience things. They find out that that particular student is laughing, and also they may conclude that there were nothing serious happens. Instead that boarding school.
Alright, thank you, Prof, for sharing your experience. Okay, I'm interested in knowing more about STDs. So, Dr. Fatimah Musfira, what is it and what effect do STDs have on the body?
Okay. STD stands for sexually transmitted disease, and it is infection that are passed from one person to another person through sexual contact.
Oh, the person will get this disease only with sexual contact?
Yes, you are right, Azli. The causes of STD are bacteria, parasites, and virus. There are more than 20 types of STD. Most STD will affect to the man and woman, but in many cases, the health problem they cause can be more severe for women. If a pregnant woman has STD, it can cause health problem for the baby. Medicine can treat STD that caused by bacteria or parasite. It is antibiotic.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. I am very sure that knowing STDs in depth will help us to be aware of this disease. For Prof. Dr. Haji Muhammad Aiman, what is your opinion to make community aware with the danger of LGBT culture?
Okay, for my opinion, the best way for community to aware this kind of danger, first we need to talk why LGBTQ is a disease and that spread widely amongst the community. Not because we want to condemn the LGBT, but we make them realize that it was wrong way and it is a faulty things to do in Islam. As we know that sometimes we cannot condemn them because of their being different, but sometimes we need to approach them kindly and make them ease with us so that they can change into normal.
Yes, you are right, Prof. Okay, what is about you, Dr. Fatimah Musfira?
Okay, in my opinion, to make community aware with the danger of LGBT culture is awareness campaign, such as give them lectures, do activities that brings awareness to the community. From this, it will lead a family to the right path. The reason why I give my opinion, it is because it can become a normal and live and a life of immersion. So, stay away from LGBT and love yourself.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for the opinions. The conclusion that we can draw from these discussions is that LGBT is an abnormal way of life in Malaysia. It is strongly rejected by Islam because it is very contrary to its law, and this culture can threaten the younger generation in Malaysia. We should protect ourselves, our families, and our society from falling into the valley of sin. Our action to this will determine our future tomorrow. Allah will ask what you have done to save your people. Hopefully, the explanations can help some who face the challenge of gender and sexuality as opposed to human nature. Every child has its solution depending on whether we want to find it and work on it. Next, do not give up on Allah's help because Allah is ready to help anyone who is always looking for His mercy. So my advice is to be grateful for all blessings of Allah given to us. Thank you to our both panels for coming and sharing the knowledge. I will end this forum with the 7 verse of Surah Al-Ibrahim. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإن تأذن ربكم لئن شكرتم لأزيدنكم وَلَئِنْ كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. Sadaqallahu Azim. This means, and remember, when your Lord proclaimed, if you are grateful, and I surely increase your in favor. But if you deny, indeed, my punishment is severe. Thank you.